Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclyde's MTG Spoiler News. And the news this week, like it has been since spoiler season started, is a midnight hunt. And that's what we're here to talk about today over the holiday weekend. So, hope you guys are out there grilling out. And in the meantime, we'll talk about a little midnight hunt spoilers action that we actually got going on over the holiday. So, we've got about 4 cards to talk about today. Tomorrow, we'll have a few more. So without further ado, let's get into it. Put those tray tables and seat backs in a full upright position as we move right along into the sunset and look at the sweet new Midnight Hunt spoilers. So remember, guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Put some comments down below if you like. Tell me what you think about the cards. If you agree, disagree with me, whatever the case may be. I do know that it helps feed that YouTube algorithm, get a little more views for the channel. I really do appreciate it. And as always, if you want to support the channel in other ways, feel free to check out the description below where you'll find a link to the eBay store where for all the box openings that I do, I post those cards online for sale direct to you. Get the cards that you know from a trusted source and get to see them opened right here on the channel. So you know they're real, you know they're packed fresh, and then you know they're going straight to you. No ifs, no ands, and hopefully some big butts. But anyway, let's get going. We got a few cards to go over today, and we'll start with our very first card, which is the Protectores de Salvatos del Ablata, which for me, I have no idea what that means. But if I look at my handy dandy notebook, it's the Dawnheart Wardens. So it's a white, a green one. This is a human warlock, and it has vigilance. So 3 mana for a 3/3 vigilance. Pretty sweet so far, although it is 2 colors. But it has Coven, which at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So, um, kind of really on the fence about this one, to be honest with you. Uh, I mean, we got it's 3 mana for a 3/3. It has Vigilance. Um, Coven is going to be really hard to get. And if you do get Coven, it's just +1/+0. Now in draft, I think this would be a really good card. I find it hard to believe this will be any good in standard. I just don't think Selesnya is looking for this. Selesnya is normally known for tokens, and we have kind of a token theme going on during this set as well. I don't think this is the kind of card that's going to play into it. So, draft, yeah, great card, probably. Good filler. But in standard, probably not going to see anything. And it probably won't see anything anywhere else outside any other format. Because 3/3 is just not good enough for older formats other than standard, especially with only having vigilance basically. So, eh. So let's get into the rares, guys. Let's hope they're better. So, well, we got one more in common. My bad. So we have the Voldaren Ambusher. So for red 2, you get a 2/2. All right, a little below. When Voldaren Ambusher enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, it deals X damage to up to one target creature planeswalker where X is the number of vampires you control. Nice quote there. Gotcha. Um, this is gonna be fine for draft. 3 mana 2/2s aren't terrible. It does deal 1 damage to a creature. And if you got a vampire theme, you can do a lot more than that. In standard, I'm not seeing it only because, um, and this may be the thing that holds it back in draft too, is you have to damage your opponent or your opponent has to lose life. If you can't get through, this is just a blank 2/2. And if you damage your opponent, which means you get in, most of your vampires might die in the process. So it's kind of like a win more. Um, because it's only creatures or planeswalkers. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, guys. I'm just really not seeing it in this card. I'm just not feeling it. Um, I don't think it's good enough for draft unless you've got to have some filler space, and I think it's going to be very bad in standard and every other basic format. Maybe Commander has a thing for this being a vampire tribal deck, maybe? I don't know. Moving right along. So the next card we have is we have the Ghoul Caller's Harvest. Old Gisa riding the dead horses. She's got some wolves and dogs there too. Wow. Okay, so it's a sorcery for green and black. Create X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with decay. Alright? Where X is half the number of creature cards in your graveyard rounded up. This seems really good, guys. Um, wow, does this seem good, especially with having flashback and for 2 mana. Now before we get too much on the hype train, let's remember, guys, a card with decay means that once it attacks, it gets exiled. So you're only going to be able to swing once, but you can block, as much as you want, I think. Um, but if you're playing a black-green aggro deck and you're just pumping cards into your graveyard, and you put 4 or 5 cards in there, or let's say 4 creatures, that's not too unheard of. Uh, you could get two black zombies for a black and a green, and then for 5 you can do it again later. I really think this is going to be a good card, guys. Sorcery is a drawback. I'm not gonna say it's not, but the ability to maybe mill yourself into a bunch of creatures and then use this in draft, this is gonna be amazing because you just creature fight all the time in draft, and when your creature's in a graveyard, you just make a whole bunch of 2/2 zombies, and voila, you have a whole new army, and you can do it twice. Um, so yeah, in draft, I think this is going to be an amazing card. I think there's going to be a real good way to bust this in standard, or at least make it playable. Commander, yeah, I think this is going to be an amazing card in Commander too. If you're playing a zombie deck, just because you just make a bunch of zombies, like I haven't seen a zombie tribal deck in Commander in a while, so I don't know if this is going to be good for it or not. But if you can play it, it looks like it'd be good to me. But that's just my personal opinion, guys. So I don't know. And when it comes to modern, 2 mana to make a bunch of 2/2s. Maybe this is something that goes in living end. You just cycle a bunch of cards into your graveyard and then make a buttload of 2/2s that they can't deal with. Swing with them once, then living in, take all your creatures out of the graveyard. Like, maybe this has some living end shenanigans going on too. I don't know, guys. This card's got a lot of possibilities. I don't think it's gonna be too busted unless somebody finds some weird way to break it. But I do think this is gonna see some play in several formats. Maybe that's just me though. So moving right along. So save the best for last, guys. It's Liesa, the Forgotten Archangel. So for a black, 2 white, 2 colorless, 5 mana for a 4/5 angel, she has flying, lifelink. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, return that card to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. If a creature an opponent controls would die, you exile it instead. Wow, is this just wow? There's a lot of graveyard shenanigans going on in Innistrad, which makes this card very good. Because if you exile stuff when it dies, there's no graveyard shenanigans to shenanigan about. Also, the ability why this is out for you to pick cards back up that you own that die, like you literally just send cards to their death and then pick them back up and play them again on the next turn. Like this is gonna be a great card because it doesn't have there's no caveat here on what card you pick up. It's any card, guys. This is gonna be really big in angel decks along with anything else. Just imagine having angels that just never dies, and you're playing white and black. Play a feign death or a protection spell of some sort so that they can't kill the angel. Oh my goodness. I think this card's going to see a lot of play. 5 mana might be a bit much for standard, but depending on the format, it might not. This could be something very serious. Yeah, because also if you look at this, it says at the beginning of the next end step, which means you can block with a creature on their end step. It goes back to your hand, and then on your turn you play it to block again. So this is just phenomenal, guys. I really like this card. I think it's a great angel. Um, I think it's going to see some play at some point. Flying lifelink 4/5. I mean, it's almost. If it was 5-5, you might as well just have called it a Baneslayer Angel, um, with a better with better abilities because it does extra stuff. Yeah, so I like it. I like it a lot. I think this is going to be a serious card worth a little bit of money. And if it gets to see a lot of standard play, it's going to really be a thing. And Commander guys, I know you're looking at this, and if you're not drooling over this, I don't know what you've been thinking, but this card seems really good to me. So, with all that said, guys, I'd like to thank you for your time. That's all we got for you today. That is the last card. Like I said, it's a short one, but as always, thank you for your time and thank you for let me show you these things. I appreciate the views, and as always, until next time, remember to be kind, and I'll see you across from the game table.